everyone here to the Smash Court Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Thursday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go up to our friends up in Queensland in particular, and we head to the defending champions in the HART Sapphire Series, and of course that is the Cougars, and of course they got a big game this weekend. Of course, they take on the Rays from the north of Queensland at home at Nissan Arena. And of course, we've got two very special guests from the Sapphire Series to tell us all about it. Thanks both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you play on the court.
Perfect. My name's Ryleh and I am the goal shooter for the Brisbane North Cougars, as well as the captain this year.
Bragging. No. I'm Mia Stour. I'm the goal attack, so we play in the circle together. So yeah, that's cool.
So the title defence is getting off to a fantastic start. You're undefeated so far for the first half of the year. I'm assuming we're at the halfway stage of the year now as we speak. You must be pretty happy where you're at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're really happy with how we've been going. We've just been building every single game and also looking forward to the next half of the season because we know it only gets harder from here. So we've had a nice little warm-up. Now it's time to put our foots down and really bring it home strong.
Yeah, I think as Ryleh said, the second half of the season is a lot different. It's a different ball game. And I think for us, we just need to work on our consistency.
Last weekend, you took on the Bull Sharks and absolutely put them to the cleaners. You beat them by 36 goals in that game. Tell us a bit about the game, and I guess you took on a pretty good side in itself, and you put them to the cleaners there. How did you try to compose yourselves in regards to as the game was starting to blow out?
So I think obviously that first quarter was a hard one. We were just warming up a little bit, but as we got the goals pumping through the hoop, we started to really just put our foot down. And I think just having that consistent game and not getting too big for our boots, just remaining calm because we also get the points for the quarters as well. So making sure that we're scoring as throughout the quarters. I think that's what we focused on, and really just trying to focus on things we've been working at training as well.
I have nothing else to say at all.
Now, just mention about you actually get points for winning a quarter. I guess we haven't had that down here in Victoria, or I haven't seen it anywhere. How have you adapted to that, winning quarters and getting points for that? Is that something that you do to sort of like reset your goals and just try and win as many quarters as possible?
Yeah, well, I think because the points do go towards our ladder and where we sit on that, it is really difficult. So we do, at the beginning of each quarter, we actually start as if it's the start of the game because we obviously need to get those points to be on top of the ladder.
Well, 7-0 at this stage. You're leading the Jets by about 20 points at the moment in the Sapphire ladder, and it doesn't look like you're going to drop out the top two or let alone top four anytime soon. I think the nearest is 20 and then about 31 to the next one. I guess what's the goals now for this team, considering you're so far ahead of everyone?
So I think if you were tuning in with the game on the weekend, one of our goal defenders is actually ruled out for the season now due to injury. So I think just adapting and trying to find someone who can fill in that spot leading into the second half of the season. And I think we've had a few niggling injuries, so just making sure we're looking after those. But other than that, I think we just want to keep having fun and enjoying netball. And when we enjoy it, we play our best. So I think that's what we're just going to keep working on moving forward.
Yeah, and even though we haven't lost a game yet, we also don't want to get too cocky or anything like that. Like anybody could tip us off. So we just got to keep working hard towards our goals, and in the end, we should get it.
Now, you just mentioned about that just a moment ago, which was actually going to be my next question. How's she travelling now, and how's the support behind her in hopefully getting her back on the court, if she's still going to be able to play for hopefully the finals, if she can get there?
We actually haven't heard that much from her, but it does look like she's ruled out for the rest of the season, so she won't be back for finals if we make it. It's not an ACL or anything like that, but yeah, just
Yeah, it was a
not
bit
too
of
good.
a weird injury, and she
Yeah.
has flown over from New Zealand as well. So her and her partner moved over here. So we're not sure how that's going to run, but all of the Cougars are fully behind her and supporting her, and we're there for whatever she needs with this rehab process for her coming back as well.
Now, I love watching both of you play on the court. I've been watching your live stream games from down here in Melbourne. Both of you seem to work really well together in the circle. I guess, tell us, how has that come about not just this year, but I'm sure the last couple of seasons?
Well, yeah, we have been playing together for about, I'd say only 3 years now. I actually used to idolize Ryleh coming up through the state programs and stuff. She had no idea who I was, and I absolutely loved it. But yeah, it's so cool that we get to play together now, and I would say that she's probably my favorite shooter I've ever played with.
And I think also because we have a really good friendship off court, I think that also you can see that when we're playing together, we know where each other's going to be, we know how each other play, and I think that's really driven our success with the team, because if we have shooters that can shoot the ball, that's going to always look good. With our coach, Liz, she loves when we can get the goals in.
Now, obviously, both of you are not the only shooters on the team. You do have another one as well who had a blind of a game as well in the last game against the Bull Sharks. You must tell us about your other shooter.
Yeah, so Martina, she's still a young little pop. So she's coming through the ranks really nicely, and obviously she is a long bomb shooting gun as well, just like Mia. So yeah, I think just building from, because I've been playing, so I'm the oldest shooter in the circle, so I'm kind of like guiding the girls through a little bit of having that leadership role in the circle. And I think just building Martina up, we don't want to change too much about her style because she plays really nicely. Just seeing how she works with Mia and myself, I think we're still building those connections, which is really nice to watch.
Yeah, we've also had some injuries as well in the circle. Like Ryleh's been out a few games, and Martina's actually out at the moment. So we have had, Maddie Grant and Larrica from the Ruby, and they've done a really good job coming in, especially because they don't train with us. But yeah, it's been pretty good.
Ryleh, being the captain of the team, what does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It's big boots to fill because Chanel Dyer left Cougars last year. So I think nothing really has changed with how I've approached this year. I just wanted to come in and fully enjoy netball with the girls, because I think we have a really good connection within our group. And I think just building that and putting that out on court. So you've probably seen our performances. We always have each other's back. And I think not being a captain, it's a privilege, but at the end of the day, everybody in the team is a captain in their own rights. So everybody has that leadership role, because I'm obviously not on the defence ends. We have defence leadership, centre court leadership, and then in the shooting leadership. So I think just making sure everybody's having fun, that's my main goal as the captain. And if we're enjoying netball, we play the best.
Mia, I need to ask you this, considering I know that you are a training partner at the Queensland Firebirds. So number one, how are you juggling both Cougars and Firebirds? And number two, were you surprised that you're a training partner, even though mine knew watching you play? I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I think it's always a privilege to be a training partner each year. This is my second year. So I was very excited when I got the call up. And juggling, it's actually not too bad. Both Liz and Megs, they're really good with player management load, everything like that. So I always feel like I can go to either one of them to tell them if I am struggling, but at the moment, like, they're doing a really good job of managing me.
Has Meg given you any tips, considering I'm pretty sure she was a goaler too herself?
Yeah, she's a very, very smart cookie, that one. And I've loved working with her through this whole first half of the season. I've learnt so much. Yeah, she's a really, really good go-to.
Now, tell us a bit about your coaches. You mentioned a little bit about it about two or three questions ago. You must tell us a little bit more about your coaches there at the Cougars.
Okay, so we have the dynamic duo, probably the best coaching pair, I would say, in the league by far. Liz and Amanda has come back with us this year, which we are fortunate for. I think they just bring something to our team. They bring that belief that we can actually do anything we put our minds to. And I think that's definitely something, having a younger squad, that's definitely something they've been pushing us towards. And trainings, they push us every single training. We stay here till 8:30, 9 o'clock until we get that drill done. But I think that definitely comes out on court. And I think your second year with Amanda, Mia?
Yeah, this is my second year with Amanda. I used to be very scared of her. She used to yell at me. She still does yell at me. She still brings that fear. But I guess being under her now, knowing what she's like, you know, when they have that, they bring that fear, it like gets the best out of us. So yeah, it's good. They're really good.
Now, I've got to wind the clock back to 2020 when you won that premiership against, I think, was that against the Jets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell us a bit about the grand final. Now, I actually did watch this one as well and completely put them to the cleaners as well. I think the game was over by about half time. But tell us a bit about it. And, you know, I guess, was there a particular point in the game that you got a chance to just enjoy the whole game, the whole grand final, knowing that you've won it?
Yeah, that was probably the best game we had all season. And I think we definitely knew how the Jets were feeling because that was us 2 years ago. It's just one of those days, like we had a blinder, not going to lie or hide the fact, but I think it was at the end of that second quarter, I think we got up, might have been 17 goals to like 7, where we just took a breath and was like, this is the grand final. Let's start enjoying the netball we're putting out there because it's obviously working. So I think that second half, we started to have fun. We started to enjoy it. And it just showed on court, obviously, with the result that we got. So, yeah, that was probably one of the grand finals for me that would go down in one of my history books of being the best and most enjoyable. I know I spoke to the crowd and they were like, it's really boring because by I kind of knew who was going to win. So we were like, but for us girls out on the court, it was really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I have to ask then for both of you, how long did you wear your medals around your necks? I'm pretty sure you got medals on the day. How long did you wear your medals around your necks for? Okay. And did both of you sleep with it?
Okay, so I don't know about Ryleh, but we obviously went out as a team to celebrate after we all had our medals on. But for me, I actually slept in mine for 3 days. I showered in it. I literally left it on for 3 days because that's the first grand final I've ever won. Not for Ryleh, she's had many wins. So that was my first one. And I was like, I take this in because that win was just, so good.
Yeah, I think that night out, and then I woke up and put it straight back on, and then I just hung it, as Mia said, with the rest of my medals. But yes.
Now, did you have a chance to hold the shield? It was a shield, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of chances, actually. I think we got to keep it for, was it a month or two?
Yeah.
Yeah, after, before we had to give it back. So, yeah, we celebrated hard with it at the courts, and then we also took it back, and at our breakup end of year celebration, we also got a couple more pictures with it there.
Both of you get involved in netball, and why did you choose it?
So I got involved in netball through my sister because when I was quite young, I did a variety of different sports, but I would always go to her training and sit there and watch. And I got really, really angry. I was like, can I not just play in a team? So this was when I was about 10. So then there was some spaces opening up in like the little club teams. And obviously I was the tallest person there. So they chucked me down the shooting end. And in those days on the grass courts, the hoop was a little bit small. So I was just dunking it, thinking this was the best thing ever. So that's kind of where my netball started. Yeah, watching my sister. And then I was like, no, I want to do this. So then I continued through, and now, 13 years on, I'm still playing somehow. I don't know how the body has held through that long, but the knees are slowly giving up on me now, but I'll see how many more years I have left. What about you?
For me, I reckon I was playing I actually had a ball in my hand as soon as I could walk. I went through with my mum. She actually played in the same league before it was the Sapphire Series, and our coach has actually coached my mum as well. Fun fact. I've pretty much lived and breathed netball since I could walk, and yeah, I've gone through all the pathways and still going strong today.
Now, I have to ask, you must well give your junior club a bit of a shout out, and have you ever gone back to your junior netball club, now you're at the Cougars?
So my junior club was down in Redlands. I played for a few different clubs down there. So I started with Raiders, and then I transferred to Thunderbolts, and then I transferred to Sharks. And yes, I have been down there because I've had a couple of the coaches who have coached me throughout the Queensland pathways in under 17 and 19, and I do live locally still. So the school that I teach at, a lot of the girls that I coach there play down there as well. So I'm still in contact with my club that I grew up with, which is really, really interesting. And I do go back to Downey Park. So I also moved over to Kennons, and I also still coach some of the teams when my friends call me up and go, can you do some shooting sessions? I'm like, yeah. And we also coach and do the Net Set Go for Cougars over at Downey Park as well on Saturday morning. So yeah, I still keep in contact with them.
My association was Highfields, which is just outside of Toowoomba. I'm still heavily involved with them because my mum, she actually runs that association and still lives in Toowoomba, so I'm always home helping out, and yeah, it's almost like a little family there. So yeah, always there still.
So Mia, considering your parents are in Toowoomba, are you going from Toowoomba to Brisbane all the time, or are now you're based in Brisbane?
No, I'm based in Brisbane now. I'm actually living with Tara Hinchcliffe, who's in the 30s. But yeah, I still go back every now and then when I can to see the family.
Now, I have to ask this question as well. Both you mentioned right at the start what position you both play on the court. If you had a preferred position, we love to convince your coaches to put you wherever that be, and here's your chance now.
Look, you don't want to be a shooter. You do not want to be a shooter. There's so much pressure. So if I would love to be a defender if I could defend, but I can't. So I would probably say wing attack.
I think I would have to go back because I started as a defender until I was about 15. So I'd have to go back into the other end of the circle and go the defensive goalkeeper position. I love the circle. It's never left me. Never found me so far. So yeah, I'd have to go goalkeeper.
What does the sport of netball mean to both of you, and especially being there at the Brisbane North Cougars?
I think netball, what it means to me is just like, honestly, the friendships and the family that it brings. Because I know Mia does live away from her family, and we do have a couple of the other girls as well here. So I think just that family environment that Cougars provide, and lots of opportunities, I think, to reach out with the other communities, and especially like our sponsorship clubs that sponsor us. So we often reach out with them. And I think, yeah, the friendships and the family environment that Cougars brings is what I love.
Yeah, look, I think I would be the same, especially living away from home. They've just made me feel so welcome. And honestly, it's the best team. It's the best culture that I've ever been a part of. And I think that's why we've been so successful.
And what will be your advice to people out there that should get involved in netball, especially in the associations that the Cougars are part of?
I think just to never give up. If you do get a setback, just always come back stronger. And I think to always have fun, because that's why we play it. It's for fun. Yeah,
I think definitely if you do, because it's not always a smooth pathway. Like we both have experienced that, not getting selected in teams, and you think it's the end of the world. But I think there's the two groups of people who will just give up, and then people who go, no, actually there's always next year and I can always achieve for that. So I think definitely never, ever, ever give up. You can always achieve if you put your mind to it.
Now let's finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions as well. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moment on the court this season, and what was it?
I just have this probably won't be very funny because it was kind of like a be there moment. But I'm just gonna say it anyway. So it's probably not that funny actually. But anyway, so Martina, our little baby shooter, when she actually went down on her knee when she got injured, it's really funny because she tries to be all really hard and she doesn't like to be a sook or whatever. But when she went down, she actually she got up and she actually started crying, and she's looking at me and she's like, Mia, I'm really hurt. And I was like, okay, all right, you can just come off. And she's like, no, Mia, I'm really hurt. And I've just never seen that side of her before. And the other defenders that were standing around us were just looking at her and I was like, you just need to get off the court. But it was like a be there moment. But I can't really think of anything else?
Yeah, I can't think of any. Maybe the good old Falcon never fails to be a little bit of a laugh, especially when it just comes flying at your head and they catch it on replay on the video, and then they just keep replaying. Like, then I didn't catch it, my head caught it, and then they just keep replaying.
Our wing attack does that. She runs like she's really quick. Yeah. So she like runs with her head down and like runs real fast, and she always gets Falcon because she just never has her head up.
Now I have to ask you, I've got to ask this one as well, which is, who's the comedian, the best singer, the best dancer, and into their TikToks?
So TikTok's definitely Martina. She's got what, 1.2 mil followers.
Yeah.
What's her hashtag? Enriquez, go chuck her TikTok follow. Best dancer. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I would think I take this on for the team.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She doesn't look like she'd be a good dancer, but she is.
Best singer, I think.
Viv.
I think we're all a little bit tone deaf.
Viv. We're all shocking, but we've had a new addition to our team this year, Viv. She's actually sings.
In a band. So we're glad we brought that one up. Comedian.
Remy.
Yeah, probably
Remy, our keeper.
Yeah,
she doesn't even try to be funny, and she's just funny. She's a bit dumb.
No, I've got to finish up with this last two, which is, do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
Yeah, so I have two. So the night before I have to eat ravioli pasta and 4 pieces of garlic bread. and then the morning of the game I have to go up to my local courts and I need to do some shooting. And I need to have a game day nap. So if our game's at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll be having a nap at like 9 o'clock because I need to squeeze a nap somewhere. Even though it's just lie down my bed. So, yeah, they're the things I must do.
And for me, I don't really have many, but I have to wear my warm-up shirt until we go onto court to start playing. So I wear my warm-up shirt for the whole warm-up and even on the bench. And then as soon as they blow the whistle to go on the court, then I take it off.
Now, we'll finish up with this one last one. And I said I was going to come back to this one about the shield. So during the premiership celebrations, where was the strangest place that the shield was taken to?
We were... No, so funny story. We spoke to our Trisha. We spoke to Trisha, and we were going to take it with us, but we didn't trust anyone in our team who was going to take care of it, who was going to look after it, because we wanted to take it out. So we just opted for the medals around the neck. So Trisha actually took that one home and kept it safe because we knew that night was going to be very loose, and lots of celebrations occurred.
I think someone did lose their medal though. I can't remember who.
But the shield stayed with Trisha because we want it back this year.
Yeah. So can you imagine if we lost the shield?
Imagine
that. Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us before training tonight. Please send our best wishes to your teammates there in the Sapphire, but obviously the Ruby team as well, which they are flying at the moment as well, undefeated. And let's hope by 2 months' time or 3 months' time that you can claim that shield again and hopefully party with it yet again in 2021.
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No worries. That's me and Ryleh there, joins from the Brisbane North Cougars HART Sapphire Series team. Of course, they're flying at the moment at 7-0. Hopefully, we go 8-0 against the Rays at Nissan Arena this weekend. We'll put all the details up, of course, on how you can get down there and support the team at Nissan Arena on the weekend. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.